On this digital media clip, we're going to look at the triggers, naturally occurring states of mind that put people at risk every day. Has there ever been a time when you've been driving down the motorway and looked up and realised you're just about to pass your junction? How does such a phenomenally powerful piece of kit like the mind allow you to drive a motor vehicle at 70 miles an hour down the motorway and be completely unaware of where you are? At that moment in time, you are so good at driving the car, you no longer need your conscious mind to do it. You've drifted off to a special place. You're away with the fairies and you're driving in autopilot. Autopilot is a naturally occurring state of mind that psychologists like to call alpha state or alpha sleep, and it describes the process of the conscious mind looking inwards at the subconscious mind. And when our conscious mind looks inwards, our awareness of risk fades. We stop seeing things below the knee or above the eye. People step down holes, trip over toolboxes, and bang their heads on things they knew were there. 10 minutes in every hour is about the time most people do alpha, but if they have a sick loved one at home, financial worries, or they're concerned about something, they may even spend most of the time away with the fairies, literally thinking internal thoughts and not even being aware of their surroundings. But do we ever create a culture where it's okay to stick our hand up and say, my head's not in the game? I don't think we do. If we consider 80% of workplace accidents as slips, trips and falls, alpha helps us start to understand how come people fall down holes and trip over things they knew were there. So we've considered alpha for the operator, for the driver, for the person walking around the site, but what about the person who has to observe the work, the person who watches the digger, who watches out for trains, the lookout? What happens to their thoughts when they're doing such a mundane task? And that's often why they're the person that gets run over or caught by the object or caught by the machinery, because their head is in a completely different place after an hour of such a mundane task. So because we do alpha and we don't see hazards below the knee or above the eye, this creates a zone in the middle, which we call the trigger zone. You'll notice if you've ever been woke up by the trigger zone, because suddenly you'll take an evasive action. You'll swerve away from that thing that was sticking out at waist height. You'll suddenly be woken up by the brake lights in front of you. That's the trigger zone saying, wake up, you're going to have an accident. Most people now walk around carrying a mobile phone. If they're looking down at their phone, their conscious mind is totally focused on the inside world of the phone, and the outside world of the hazards gets completely missed. They are totally unaware of the risks around them. So let's consider now what happens when we put somebody on an activity which is perceived to be very high risk. They use their conscious mind to focus very keenly on what might kill them or hurt them badly. They'll do this for 45 minutes to an hour or so, and they will deny themselves any alpha sleep at all. So consider what happens when they step out of the trench or step away from the job and start walking towards the van. They automatically switch into alpha mode and walk totally unaware of the risks around them. And most safety guys will tell you our accidents that are slips, trips and falls don't happen in the workplace, they happen to and from the workplace, because they have built up an alpha debt.